this is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. And once again, another package that was sent to me from Comics and Toys on eBay that is all damaged. Now the figure inside is fine, and I'm not a mint on box collector, but honestly, for the price I paid for these, they should do a much better job, seriously. They're power sellers, and I can't leave them negative feedback yet, but Now, Optimus Prime is honestly a figure that I really wasn't all that excited about. He doesn't look terrible, I guess, but I really prefer the War for Cybertron look a whole lot more than this guy. This just doesn't do it for me. It's really kind of weird. I mean, he's got this big chest bulging out. I'm just already looking at it, not a fan of it. Flip around here on the back, I love the G1 kind of tech specs that they have here. Like I said in a previous video, you can almost cut those out and collect them. You got a Cybertronian truck mode, comes with his ion cannon, there's his robot mode. And his read up here says, confronted with the inevitable decline of his home world into a long period of frozen, powerless hibernation, Optimus Prime faces a terrible choice. Stay and fight to the finish, only to fall into stasis along with his world, or evacuate and hope the Decepticons pursue him into space so that the planet has time to heal. Very interesting. I'm really interested in playing the game. I actually never finished the War for Cybertron game yet. I'm actually stuck at a part on it, so that's kind of tough for me. But deluxe class, and again, these are much smaller figures. The smaller size is kind of carrying over with all these new Transformers. But let's get Optimus Prime open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Optimus Prime open up and out of its packaging. And right off the bat, this figure is going to have a lot of problems. And the reason I say that is because having a previous version of himself, he's going to get compared to that previous version all the time. Now I know they actually changed his look in the game, and that's perfectly fine, but when you take this guy and you compare him to what we got before, it's just far and away a much different and underwhelming figure. Now here you see him next to the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. This is specifically the Takara United version of it, so it's got the nice kind of metallic paint and stuff. Just looks much better. But look, just look. I mean, you can totally see the big size difference here. I mean, huge size difference with these figures, and it just looks so much better. This guy just is so much more blocky and bulky looking that I really do not like how he looks at all. Now he has a lot of similarities. I mean, you can kind of see the front sort of kind of looks roughly the same. You got the smokestack things that are coming back on this angle, very similar how that is. You got the same color tone going on, but I'm sorry, this is just, when it comes down to picking an Optimus Prime from the video game, this is the one that you guys should pick up. Even if you don't get the United one, the regular Hasbro one, the mold for it is so much better than this guy. Now he does come with a gun that you see there's actually two different ways to hold it. Now this is how he holds it in robot mode. This way here you plug on here on the back, and you can have him go around with this cannon hanging out, which is very cool. I mean, that's you know, how it kind of is in the game, well, what I'm assuming for the game. And then you got these peg holes on the side that, I don't know, you can do that if you wanted to, I guess, but just such a small figure. I do like the wheels on this one. That's really kind of almost Tron-like, I guess. It doesn't have the pink rim around it to really kind of make it look like it's glowing, but I still think it looks very cool. You got the three wheels. The only problem is the way that they transform, you kind of almost have to push down really hard in the center to get all three wheels, because otherwise, if you don't, the other wheels really don't move very well. So that really does kind of suck. Now, to transform him, it's really a whole lot simpler than the War for Cybertron, and that's probably the biggest plus that I see with this figure. The transformation is just so much easier. Just take these legs, rotate these all the way down, just like so, and then you can kind of separate this, rotate this down, rotate this whole section down. That'll kind of sort of clip into place, revealing his foot. Well, not really revealing it, just extending it. So rotate that back and then push all the way back, and it kind of locks into place. And there you have his lower half pretty much done. Going up to the top, just kind of wiggle this, separate this. And then these, you can kind of see the sort of little tab right on the inside there. It just pegs into the side there. Just rotate these down, get these out of the way. Rotate that, rotate that. These are on ball joints. These just well, they just pop off if you don't do it right, and they just rest along the backside. Take the wrist, rotate that around. Do that on this side as well. Rotate this around. Rotate this around, and just kind of rest it up there along the underside of his forearm. Fold that down. Rotate that down. Kind of straighten this out, and then this part's actually a pain for me because, again, no fingernails, so we're gonna pull out some tweezers, kind of just reach in there, lift this up, fold this all the way back, and in doing so it's going to rotate the arms kind of here. Let me see if I can show you that a little bit better. So rotate that down. Closed it too far. Okay, so doing so, you push this all the way back, rotates the arms, brings his head out, and then just straighten these. Kind of straight, pull out his head, take these bits here, rotate these down, and here you have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And again, that whole blocky look really kind of comes through again on this figure. These are on ball joints, but you don't really get a lot of range of motion with them, which kind of sucks. The shoulders look really off to me. I really don't like it. It's like he's just very straight. I mean, it's like, yes, drill sergeant. I mean, just very robotic, and I don't like it. I really don't care for it all that much. But here he is. Here he's next to the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. Now, size aside, because I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking about the size. I mean, I don't think the size is too terribly bad for a deluxe class figure now. Yeah, things are a little bit more expensive and things like that, but I don't want to nitpick about it. Now, a lot of people would say, like, this guy looks like he's got too much kibble going on. And while he does, there's a lot kind of going on with this guy. The Fall of Cybertron Optimus is a much more streamlined kind of figure. He doesn't have a lot of excess kibble, so that's definitely a plus. It just really doesn't look very good to me. I really think that the blocky nature, now granted this kind of angles out, but I think that aesthetically, it coming out to a point like this looks a lot better. Especially if you're going to have a giant chest coming out like that, and both of these figures have that. It's just when it gets flat right there, I don't know, it just doesn't look as good. And again, granted, this is the United coloring, so this automatically looks 100 times better. It's just really kind of an underwhelming figure, if you ask me. And I kind of keep saying that, the whole "if you ask me" thing, so I'm gonna try stop doing that. But it just doesn't impress me all that much. And I really do find myself liking this one even still a whole lot more than this guy. Now, he does have a really nice head sculpt, actually. I do like that. The weird kind of angle inward looking ear things is a little different. He does have painted eyes. He doesn't have any light piping whatsoever, but the eyes actually are very nice light blue paint. The red works okay. I'm not a big fan of these big gaping holes here in his forearms. Not too much you can do about that. You got the gray plastic. There's not a lot of paint applications, really, if you ask me. It's very kind of underwhelming in terms of a paint job. I really think that this is the weakest of the detail figures. Well, I mean, not so much detail. I mean, you can see a lot of nice detail in terms of the molding. Just the paint job is kind of blah. Now, in terms of his articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so a nice range of motion. It's actually a little bit further, so you can kind of see that the ball joint sits a little bit further on the head, so you kind of get, when you turn it, it kind of makes his head look like it's sticking out really kind of far on one side. The arms here are on ball joints, but it's a little bit limited. That's about as far as it goes all the way around, but then once you start getting around it, you got this little bit right here, which kind of can catch on here unless you keep it straight. And if you don't keep it straight, it's going to hit there, and that's as far as it's going to go. So, kind of blah. Rotates here at the upper part of the bicep. He bends at the elbow. He also rotates at the wrist, which is definitely nice. Rotates at the waist. Back and forth at the hip. They're on ball joints, but they also rotate at the upper part of the, kind of the upper part of the thigh, I guess. Bends at the knee, and then the foot is on a ball joint, but you're not going to get a lot of left and right posability with it because of all this extra junk around here. So decent level of articulation on here. It is accurate to what we've seen in the game, but when I first saw the design for the new Optimus Prime, I did not like this design. So it's not even the figure, it's just the design of the character and the look of the character itself that I really do not like. I just much more prefer the War for Cybertron guy. It just looks better to me. Now, to transform him, first of all, what I should show you is his weapon. So, he does have this. Now, I do kind of like it how you can hold it like this, and it does kind of have a very G1 kind of look to it. Definitely a very cool looking kind of weapon, but this is kind of goofy. They actually say that you can take this, fold this up, and plug this there. Well, not necessarily there. It's like that. And you can have a shoulder cannon. Yeah, okie dokie, guys. Whatever you want. We're just gonna take that off and forget that ever happened. And we're gonna go to the transformation. So to do so, just fold this up, do that here on both sides. Rotate the wrists around. Rotate this whole section around like so. And then rotate this back in. I'm sorry, you're actually supposed to rotate the fists all the way around. Just like that. So rotate that, then angle this up, just like so. And this is it. We're just gonna leave them just like so. Take this section, lift this, and then in doing so, push the head down, and that's going to rotate these shoulder bits back, and then just rotate these around. Kind of take this section, bring it down, lock that in, and then you're gonna see, like I said, kind of inside there, the tab that fits on the inside of his torso. So lift this up and then slot that into place like so. Do that on this side as well. Then rotate these bits around. Like I said, these are just on ball joints, so if they pop off, no problems. And then just hook those together just like that. And then kind of straighten it out, kind of line it up. Bring these feet, angle these up all the way onto the front of his shins, just like so. Rotate this around, bring that in, do that on this side as well. Then bring these together, and this part's actually a little bit tricky. You can see tiny little tabs here and here. They peg into here and here, but because of the way that this is, it's hard to actually kind of get it. So angle this, you're gonna bend this up and kind of try and lock that in. It's really not easy to do because of the way that it's designed here. You can't really get in there very well, and it doesn't ever really look like it's fully pushed in. That's about as far as it's gonna go, and in the process I knock other stuff loose, so just straighten that, fix that. But here you have Optimus Prime back in his go-kart mode. And then for weapon storage, you can, like I said, just take this and plug this on the top there. Now, honestly, of the 3 Fall of Cybertron figures, this is my least favorite of all of them. I'm just overall not impressed with the design look for it, and that's not really Hasbro's fault. That's the game designers, I suppose. And I guess to sell more toys, you can't just rehash Optimus Prime. You can't send that out again. You kind of have to reinvent them, I guess, and that's what they basically did. I just really don't like the design aesthetic for him. The size doesn't bother me too much. I mean, yes, it's smaller, and I mean, I'm kind of used to that. It's just the design look for it, I'm not a big fan of. It doesn't look as sleek. This looks like a slumbering beast that just kind of clunkily goes around and does things. I mean, even when I saw the actual game footage, it's just really blah, very clunky, not real fluid if you ask me. So it's very unfortunate. The transformation on it is considerably easier than the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime, and that is a huge plus. I do really like that. But the vehicle mode and the robot mode just really don't do it for me. So honestly, I cannot recommend this guy too much. If you can, I honestly would try to get the first version of Optimus, the War for Cybertron one, I mean. That one's just a far superior figure in my opinion, and while the transformation is more complex, it's really not all that difficult. To me, this guy is just a bit of a letdown. So that's about it, guys. So until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this look at Optimus Prime. Just sorry I couldn't give it a better review, but until next time, this has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.